Hi everyone, happy Thursday evening, or if you're watching this tomorrow, happy Friday. I just wanted to do a really short, simple video on some things to think about if you're getting ready to move into a new home. So these are just 5 very basic things to think about as you're getting ready to move into that new home, and especially if you have maybe a few days before, between closing and your big move day. These things will really help you if you get them done right beforehand, but also things to think about even if you're doing it all that same day in your timelines, and to make sure that you have ready to go. So if you know anyone who's moving soon, tag them in the comments. If you want to add to it, feel free to comment, share our video if you'd like, and thank you for watching. Our first one is test carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. They should have been tested during your inspections, but those were probably about a month ago. And who knows, maybe the seller took the batteries. And you don't want to not have those working just because you assume that they were still working from your inspection. So make sure you have extra batteries, and I would go through and test all of them. It's better safe than sorry. Next thing, change the locks. So you get those keys. I suggest you just buy the locks ahead of time so that you have them ready to go, or rekey them if you'd like. But it's kind of hard sometimes to find locks that rekey unless they're the ones you do yourself, because you have to find the person who made them. Not all shops will just do it nowadays, so sometimes it's easier to just get new ones. But you want to make sure that you're the only one who has keys to that property. And so the simplest way is to just get yourself new locks. I would really want all my front doors, back doors, all that to match. I'll have the same key, so those rekeying sets are great. You can rekey them yourself. You can get them all matched. Our house, when we moved in, we wanted it changed before closure. First thing we wanted done. It's too late to have the store rekey them, and we did not want 12 different keys. So we bought those kits. We rekeyed them all ourselves, and it was great. Loved it. Next thing, get to know your house. So you want to make sure you know where some major things are, like your circuit breakers, water shut off, all these important things that if you don't think about it now, in an emergency, you're not going to be able to think clear enough to remember, oh, well, when we were doing the inspection, I saw this over here. You want that to be second nature. Whenever something happens, you know right where to go to address the problem. Also think about your sump pump. Some of them have have a backup if the power goes out. Some don't. You want to know if there's a storm and the power's out, is my sump pump still going to be running, or do I need to check to see if it's getting full? So make sure you know your house, you're familiar with your house. Your inspector is a great resource here. When you're going through your inspection, they can point out these things for you. And if you forget, you could always ask. But those are important things to know where they are and to just be familiar with. The next one, have your mail forwarded. Easy, simple step, but it'll help you a lot. So make sure that you set that up. You can do that before closing, have a date set for it to start, and they'll forward all your mail for you. So as your address is changed over, your mail will still be coming to your new house, and you won't be wondering what's stuck at the other house. Another thing here to mention are your utilities. You want to make sure you have those set up, particularly your trash. If you don't have your trash or your water, those get shut off. They're going to get reconnected. That's going to be an extra fee. And it's not a huge fee, but why spend the extra? Just get all that set up beforehand. And that way it's all a smooth transition. And remember, if your closing date changes, you are going to have to change those. So that's one thing that I think gets forgotten more, is when the closing date changes, change those utilities with it. Last step is to do a deep clean. You're moving into a new house, you're going to be putting things away, and you're going to want to unpack right away. So if you don't start this before you start getting the box in, you're just going to forget. So clean out those cabinets. If pantries look real dingy and gross, give it a fresh coat of paint, because it's going to feel so much better. And I know whenever I was unpacking, I unpacked because we were planning to redo the kitchen, and I put everything in that pantry, although it needed to be painted. And I was like, oh, I can always repaint it later if I need to. No, you're not. It didn't get repainted until we redid the house and we redid that cabinet. And your pantry feels a lot better if it's nice and fresh. So just go ahead and tackle those projects. If you have any big painting projects, it's easier before the furniture's up against the wall. So, even if you're having to move in and put it all in the middle, then that way you can get to all the walls and everything, get the outlet covers off so you can do a really good paint job the first time. It'll really help. Think about deep cleaning carpets if you want those cleaned, especially if maybe the previous owner had a pet and you don't, or just stains and dirt. You might as well have them cleaned while there's nothing on it. It's a lot simpler. Think about if you want someone to come in and professionally clean it. Maybe you could have them set up for that day. Shower grout, things like that are all things that it's much easier to scrub all that before you put whatever you store in those places before you get it into the house. Also, if you're thinking about replacing flooring, if you have the time to do it before moving in, it is much easier. You won't have to pay to have your furniture moved off the floors. You won't have to find a place to store it. So that's a bigger project, but if you are thinking about getting new flooring and you have the chance to do it before you're actually living there, it'll really help. So those are our little 5 simple kind of tips to think about. Some of it's just planning. It really helps to moving day if you've planned and you just have those locks and things on hand, so that way maybe you can put one person in charge of that while you're doing boxes, and you just have all that set up. It'll really help you out. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Feel free to tag anyone or share our videos, and I look forward to talking to you soon.